Welcome back to Fast Stock Market News, where I give you all the news as fast as I can. So today was a very interesting day in the stock market. We started off super red throughout the day, and we kind of rallied toward the end. As we can see, the S&P 500 finishing 0.16 in the green, the Dow finishing negative 0.42 in the red, the Nasdaq having the best day out of all the indexes, finishing 1.75 in the green, and the Russell finishing almost zero point 0.8 in the green. So a couple of news stories before I get to why we rallied toward the end of the day, guys. We have one big piece of news was actually Tesla getting a price cut, and JP Morgan sees that it could fall another 40% given the weaker deliveries, which were they missed about by 4,000 deliveries, but this is, I think, a lot of just like fear mongering, and it's like, I personally don't think it's a huge deal right now, but they're basically saying this could be the end of the world. And you can see the Tesla stock actually rallied toward the end, and this has to do a lot with the biggest news article of why the whole market actually rallied toward the end. You see Tesla back at around $700. So the biggest driver for the stock market is basically that crude oil, it actually fell below $100, and you might not think that's a huge deal, but that's a significant milestone, because the reason this is a huge deal is because if we check the chart right here, crude oil has not been under $100 in over almost 2 months. This is a significant thing. So if we can continue to have crude oil, and we look at this chart, a more normalized oil would be around about $80, $85. That would be a pipe dream if we could ever get back down to that level. But I wouldn't really jump at the conclusion that we basically seen the worst, because there's still a lot of people out there that are very bullish on oil right now. And even though it has pulled back along with the markets, it's not something to get your hopes over quite yet. And this is kind of reiterated by a CNBC guest that came on today, who still sees a lot of upside in oil. Take a look.
But in terms of looking at the physical markets, I'm going to point this out in oil. It's the tightest physical market ever on record, as long as the data goes back. When we're looking at physical premia, the Saudis just took up their physical prices up to $9 a barrel. When you look at inventories, we're at critically low inventories across the space. You are in a 1 million barrel per day deficit when you look at the high frequency data. We're out of refining capacity. So when we look at, particularly on the food and fuel side, these markets, the physical markets, are telling you something very different than what the financial markets are telling you.
Well, then that's not helpful in terms of probably overall inflation and what the Fed's going to have to do, unless you think that maybe speculators are pricing in a recession. A recession, I guess, could hit the demand side, so maybe that could be self-fulfilling. But your point is that any glimmers of hope that we're seeing right now don't necessarily mean that supplies are going to ease anytime soon.
Absolutely a true statement. I want to point something out: the difference between commodities and financial markets. Financial markets are driven by expectations. Equities and bonds are driven about what the future is going to look like. Commodities are spot assets driven by what's going on today. And so if you sell the market on expectations of weakness in the future, it actually makes it more bullish because you cut back supply. So, and I think those physical markets are telling you this situation is far from over and is still very tight. We think there's a lot of upside risk near term. We still stick to our $140 a barrel target on oil. Right now, when you look at products, they're pricing in something closer to $175 a barrel. And if you take our 140 and translate it into product prices, comes in somewhere around $5.30 a gallon on gasoline and $6 a gallon on diesel. So that means you got more upside risk at the pumps, which is going to be difficult from an inflation perspective.
Have it, guys. That's basically the biggest news for today. Oil going under 100, big milestone for us. Again, it's been almost 2 months. But yeah, guys, tell me what you guys are doing in the market right now. Are you buying, selling, or are you staying away? Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Thanks again, everyone, for watching Fast Stock Market News. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, commenting, or liking the video. I would greatly appreciate it. My name is Gio, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Take care.